attendance for the Hadley Planning Board are Joe Zagrodnik, myself, Jim Maximowski, Kishore Parmar, Mark Dunn, and Bill Dwyer. And this meeting is being recorded. And since we'll just start the meeting off to alert people that in Hadley, well, not so much at Hadley, it has not happened yet that we're aware of, but in surrounding communities, they are being applicants for various things, zoning board, planning board, could be anything else. There is a scam going on where after the application has been approved by the qualifying board, if you would, they are receiving, I think mostly by email, a bill for significant money, anywhere from several thousand to multiple thousands of dollars. And they give all the pertinent information that the hearing had, whatever it was made before, and they're requesting wire transfers. And I'm not aware of any community around here that does that. You're paying the fee up front. You're not getting a bill afterwards for this kind of stuff. Maybe you do, but in any case, look, if there's any question before you get too upset about the invoice you receive, call the town or city hall that issued the permit that you received, or the application, whatever it may be, and verify whether the invoice is valid. Most of the time, if not 100% of the time, they're not. And you can pass this on to anybody in other towns that you do business with, have association with, because Northampton, Amherst, and South Hadley that we know of have received, people have received these things. So just be wary, okay? Thank you. Mr. Dwyer, general information, who's up? Anybody?
Mr. Iser was the first one in tonight.
Oh, yay. All right, I have submitted an A&R application. Hopefully Mr. Dwyer can put it on the screen for me. It's
well, let's see what we can do.
The river frontage?
Well, it's on the river, but it's not river frontage. All right, so this is on Honey Pot Road. The land is currently owned by Dennis Pipczynski and his niece, Katie Ann Selawicki. They bought a single piece of property, which is being divided into two. The two parcels are known as Parcel 4 and Parcel 5. Pipczynski and Selawicki own the land all around these two parcels. And the reason they're dividing it is so that they can put half of the lot into each of their own names. And it's going to basically extend some land that they have that goes from behind this lot to the river. Now they will be able to go from between the river and Honey Pot Road. And neither, by combining them all, they're still not big enough to comply with what used to be the bylaw for putting a trailer on. I don't know if it's changed at all. But anyhow, I've put not a buildable lot on them because they're not big enough to qualify under zoning.
So could you enlarge those 4 pieces, Bill?
Enlarge them?
Yeah. Zoom in on the areas a little bit.
Yeah, it was what, 216 feet on the short side and
okay, that's
280
good.
Something.
Okay, so as we're looking at this thing, to the left of the two new parcels, there's a existing lot that goes from Honey Pot Road to the river. That's owned by Katie Selawicki. Then to the right of that, between the river and the back of Parcel 4, is land that Katie Selawicki owns now. And then to the right of that is land that Dennis Pipczynski owns that goes from the river to the back of Parcel 5. And then on the other side of that is land that's owned by Dennis Pipczynski. So Parcel 4 will be combined with the lot behind it, which is owned by Katie Selawicki. So she'll own all of that in her name solely. And then the Parcel 5 will go to Dennis Pipczynski, and he'll own that solely. The land that is currently Parcel 4 and Parcel 5 altogether was bought by Selawicki and Pipczynski with the intent to divide it in two as we're doing now.
Okay,
That almost
again-
makes sense.
Not a building lot because it doesn't meet zoning. And it's also in the, I'm pretty sure that's in the floodway down there.
yeah, that
So
is.
I don't think they can't build a house anyhow.
So it's just for their camps and stuff, right?
Yes.
They can get a few beach chairs in there.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Any questions from anybody? Comments?
So if Randy gets an email that they should Venmo Joe Zagrodnik for the approval afterwards, we should disregard that.
I'm sure
Sure.
that'll be legit.
Okay,
I
Would
will
it-
not, I will not participate in this one.
okay.
Just by way of information, even if we thought there was going to be something going on, we still have to approve the A&R lot. Is that not correct from a legal point of view?
Yeah, because that's just dividing the property. We're not saying it's a buildable lot. They're just dividing the property into, I mean, three, if you would, the way it shows on a map, each will get 3 pieces. Yes. I'll entertain anybody will make a motion?
I would move to accept the approval not required.
Second.
We have motion and second. Any other discussions? Hearing none, all in favor, roll call vote.
Done. Aye.
Dwyer abstain.
Maximowski, aye.
Farmar, aye.
Zagrodnik, aye?
Motion passes 4-0 with 1 abstention. Very good.
Okay, I'll get a hold of you, Jimmy, in the next few days, get it signed.
Okay,
Thank you.
Take care of that cold.
Yeah, it's been taking care of me.
okay. Next, Mr. Dwyer.
Next up was Mr. Reedy.
Perfect. Thanks, Bill. Hi, guys. So this is, I had submitted, well, first of all, I was here a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago at this point, talking about that Bank of America or the potential Bank of America 359 Russell Street. Friday, I submitted the civil plans and the architectural plans for the redevelopment of that site into a bank and drive up ATM. When we were here, when I was here last time, the question was about it being a drive through, and it's not. It's just a drive up ATM along with a bank branch. They didn't know what was happening with the ATM by Trader Joe's. They suspected it's still going to remain, but they didn't give me a definitive answer on that. So I had submitted it for commercial site plan review, special permit, and business use in the aquifer. And I'm just looking for a hearing date and then to coordinate with Jim to get the requisite number of plans and submit it with the town clerk.
Oh, we gotta make a new calendar out. We could, well, PVPC is gonna be here on the 6th again, is that correct, Bill?
No, we gave them, they need some time to get themselves organized, and we have the
In
Village Barn
February.
Shops on
Oh, no, we
for,
can't do the 60th, it's too early. We could do the 20th. Right? What's the address, Tom?
359 Russell Street.
Okay,
when did we have the coffee shop? Did,
120. We continue
120.
7 Brew to 120.
okay.
Okay,
So do we want to talk about whether So is this a complete demolition and reconstruction?
It is.
So do we want to talk about peer review?
What's the size of the building compared to what's there?
It's about the same footprint. I can bring up the plan and show you.
Yeah, it's almost exactly.
Yeah, exactly. See if I can.
Just curious, Tom, do you know what type of heating they're gonna use?
It's a good question, Joe. I don't know the answer to that.
The reason I ask is I drove by there and there was a propane truck hooking into some thing in the ground there, and whether they were taking out some natural gas or what, just seemed
Oh.
unusual. But
Interesting.
none of
Yeah, I
that-
don't know. I can ask.
Yeah.
This is what's existing, about 4,300 square foot footprint, and then this is what's proposed, 3938, and you can see the red outline is the proposed building, and the gray outline is the existing building. So essentially the same footprint.
Okay.
What's the drive up?
They're
gonna
gonna they're gonna demo the existing building and rebuild it.
Correct.
And do they? Okay.
I mean, what does the board feel? Do they feel this needs a peer review?
Well, they're not changing the grading, are they?
There's probably some, like, I would imagine, like, minimal grading changes.
Yeah, doesn't
Um,
look like much.
no, I don't see, it doesn't seem, I mean,
I mean,
you know, there's like
I don't know how you
units on the
could.
site already, which are wedded to balance to the other portions of the
Yeah,
site.
exactly. Yeah, at the southwest and at the northwest, you're tied to existing, so I don't think you're gonna be. Well, what would the peer review look at, Jim? I
That's a
mean,
good question.
because like
Um,
impervious isn't really changing.
I mean, yeah, I mean, they're replacing some, they're gonna have to replace some impervious only because of construction and stuff like that, but they're
Yeah.
really not changing any parking area. It has, you know, the parking is reasonably adequate now, and for a bank, it's really a low impact. There's way more, typically for a bank, it has more parking than required, which is good for the restaurants nearby in that case.
Well, they're reducing the parking spaces, I think, not the area, because they're using more for drive lane, but they're reducing, if I understood that from the numbers on the drawings. And I think the lighting's going up. It's going to be brighter around the building, but at the perimeters, it drops down to that required 1 foot candle. So, you know, I guess that makes sense that but it all looks like it's down lighting. It's all. And there's a flagpole, but that's illuminated down from on top, isn't it? It looked like it had some kind of it called it a light beacon on the top of the pole.
I think you're right there, Mark. Let me see if I can.
That was all the way down in the detail sheets. Yeah.
Yeah, so here's the lighting plan. Obviously, as Mark was talking about, dropping down to minimal light at the property line.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I could look for it, but I won't
Yeah, that's
make everybody nauseous driving around here.
No, I'm not saying we need it. I'm just saying that this is the time we should talk about it.
right.
No, I understand, that's fine, but it's a good thing to bring up. There's no problem with that. Just want to make sure that we're all in agreement that it's not required, that's all.
There's no major site changes as we talked about, no elevation changes, no, the infrastructure is already there, the parking's already there, the flow is already there.
I mean, it would be nice to have a cursory, we meet this, but it doesn't have to be the 20-page, you know.
We could handle that.
I suppose we could.
Yeah.
Even
I mean,
on
it
our
is,
volunteer.
it's a prominent area in town, obviously. It's a visible area. you know, you want to get somebody to take a look at it, I don't think that there's an issue, but you know, it really is minimal
Yeah.
changes because they're just constrained, right? They don't have the flexibility to do much in that area.
Oh, that's true too.
Can you show the existing parking versus the proposed? I think you have to scroll up to see what the existing plan was.
Let's see. So I think that's proposed. That's proposed right there. So just to give you
Yeah.
a sense of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, and
So
then,
it's just parking on the north and the east.
yeah. So right
So you're
here,
losing-
there's some extra, right?
Yeah.
So right there, and then down here, there's some extra as compared to right here. This turns into that ATM.
And the southeast corner is driving lane and you lose that parking as well.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
But, you know,
Okay, tell you the point with this time. Why doesn't you get a review strictly for the parking area? And that's it, because impervious is not changing, it's maybe changing in what it's used as, but it's not really the total, it doesn't look like the total impervious is changing, to say.
right.
Right, and I think we've got, you know, here, so if we've got that parking calculation of the required parking and the proposed parking, what exists and then what's proposed. So we've
Yeah.
got a reduction of spaces, but still compliant.
You're
Overall.
reducing, yeah, you're losing 20 spaces, but
Still,
Yeah,
still
But
compliant.
I also want to keep in mind what's shown in the overall parking data. Remember that,
yeah. Is this part of the whole mall?
yeah, the whole mall is at parking capacity, even, well, they purchased, transfer development right allowances. You see that it is showing a deficit.
Yeah,
And the way I understood that, Bill, and I can get clarity on it, but I understood it to be that it says negative, but almost in the positive.
Bill, do you mind if I jump in? And Tom, I'm sorry, I'm Dan Hester. I'm with Mountain Farms Mall and here for something else.
Oh,
but
great. No,
I
please.
made-
This is great.
I made that chart for your Bank of America guys because I did the TDR 7 years ago with this board. Yeah, so while Bank of America is losing or we're reducing the total number of parking, the building footprint is shrinking as well. So there's really no additional purchase needed as part of our TDR. If anything, we're picking up just a small fraction or amount of it. So again, even while our parking spaces are going down, the existing occupied GLA plus our purchase, which was for 820,000 square feet of parking area, we're still below that with this new project, demoing the old building and recreating or building the Bank of America.
Okay.
Thanks, Dan.
Of course, yeah. Good timing, I guess.
Yes, very.
right. Okay, then maybe we don't need I mean, if all they can look at is calculations, that's something that is pretty straightforward, but like I said, the board feels that any peer review is necessary?
Okay.
I'm fine with that one.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll set the public hearing for January 20. And go forward from there, Mr. Reedy.
Okay, I'll get you the plans and the envelopes, postage prepaid and all that stuff. I'll drop it off probably sometime end of this week.
Yeah, that's right. We want what? 2 full-size sets, Bill?
I think 3 full size and 2 reduced size.
Okay.
Okay, I can do that.
Very good.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. And next up, Mr. Dwyer.
Next
Everything
up,
else then? Mr. Attorney Reed, is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
okay, I think it's M. Savola.
Good evening. I'm here on behalf of Hutter Construction for the Walmart remodel. I believe we have permits applied for and here to answer any questions or concerns you may have.
Could we just see the proposal of what's going to be changed? Not the interior, just basically the exterior changes, if there's any.
Essentially, I can't share screen right now. We're looking to do parking lot restriping, signage, and a small canopy at the front of the building for their online pickup. Replacing some concrete pads at the exterior doors, and that is essentially it on this project.
Yeah.
And that
Parking lot striping is fine.
underground drainage tie-in, right?
Yeah, for that little canopy roof.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, because the only reason we asked you to come here was because the building inspector said that there was some exterior alterations being proposed in addition to what we approved for signage several months ago, if you would, or a month ago at least.
Okay.
And I said, no, they haven't come in with any, showing us any proposals to the exterior. But if it's just a canopy and some parking lot striping, then you're probably okay.
Yeah, I think we had previously approved the parking lot striping.
Okay.
I think you had a different contractor come in for that, or a different designer for that.
Yeah, the architect for Walmart probably submitted and went through the review process with you early on. I'm just jumping in here at the last minute to take over this project. So forgive me, I'm a little bit unprepared, but yeah, there's approximately, oh gosh, maybe 100 feet of underground piping tying from that canopy roof, it looks like, to a storm drain, existing storm drain.
So the canopy's attached to the building, that's just gonna, something to drive underneath for basically,
No, it's just at a door entrance. So
Okay.
associates, as they leave the store, have a little bit of cover.
Okay.
So it's on their wide sidewalk on the front of the building.
okay.
So who would have emailed us with this?
What it came from, Keisha Kula.
How do you spell that?
Hold on one second.
KEICA, I think.
It's KULLA@HutterConstruction.com. And she sent the
Okay.
Dropbox link at that time.
Right, and then I did. Okay, thought I had it. Give me the spelling again.
KKU.
Okay, oh, never mind. I found it came up. Yes, so she had sent us a huge plan, and then hundreds of pages, it seemed like. So I did send around the reduced plan set on last Tuesday, the 9th. New bollard installation at front doors and garden center, new door with small canopy in the front of the building near garden center for online, and then restriping of the parking lot. So
And when you scroll down in the drawings to the elevations, it does look like there's another big section of blue branding on the front toward the east, where right now I'm seeing that they only have the word pickup and the flower icon on the wall. At least that's what I'm seeing on Google Maps. That's the only concern I think I had.
Yeah, that's Walmart's new paint proto, so everything's going to blue on their front of the building.
Yeah, so I just don't know if the board considers that big swath of blue branding or,
So that would be sheet A2 specifically.
yeah, you see it there in the center of the bottom elevation. That I think is new, if I'm not mistaken.
We may have to take a look. Kayla, do you remember if we did actually approve the sign package as part of dealing with the parking lot?
Not sure, but let me double check.
The note on this plan, and I could be wrong, says paint and signage ETR unless otherwise noted, and it doesn't specifically call out any changes to that. I haven't visited the store, so I'm not sure what the current color scheme is there.
Yeah, I can't remember if that other one at the south end of the east wall in the top elevation, or what they call the left elevation. I can't remember if that one's already there. And then the front elevation, I don't remember if that one in the center was existing or approved. It doesn't show up on the, this Google Maps now says 6 years ago. So that could be outdated. Maybe that was already approved and put in place.
So it looks like the changes were approved, but I think, what is the date of this plan?
Let me.
This one is dated 6/3 of 25.
So it looks like we have updated ones from July 11th, 2025. So are these, yeah, I can share my screen in a second.
Okay, let me get out of here for now.
Okay.
Oh, so yep. So there's that enlargement on the bottom elevation. And these are
Wait,
the
this is the
This is
16th
16th of
June, actually.
The overall plan might have been updated, but this sheet that's probably your latest version.
Okay.
yeah, I don't recall if we
Well, it looks like we approved the signage.
okay, so maybe they reduced some existing and relocated it to be grandfathered.
You know, why don't we just approve what he's asking for, except for that area that we're looking for? And he can bring it back to the next meeting.
The signage,
Yes,
except for the signage?
yes.
Well, if we've approved it already, I'm not,
Well, did we approve that one on the corner that we're looking at? That was that's the question we're trying to address, isn't it?
But he's showing that as existing, so maybe
Oh,
we
okay.
just maybe we just approve the new scope that he's asking for. That way we're not approving the signage he's showing, and we can verify that.
So I just checked, the signage was approved on 7/15,
Of
what I just
2025.
shared of this year, yes.
Okay, all right. So that is water over the dam. So I have no other issues with what they submitted this week.
I'll make a motion to waive further site plan approval for the modifications as outlined in the 12/9/25 email.
I'll second it.
What's the address of that?
Something.
It is 137 337 Russell Street.
337 Russell. Okay, that's all I need. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussions? If not, all in favor, roll call vote.
Done. Aye.
Dwyer, aye.
Maximowski, aye.
Aye.
Zagrodnik, aye.
Motion passes. Very good. You're all set.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Just get 12/9/25. Okay, next in was Mr. Hester.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Dan Hester from WS Development and Mountain Farms Mall. Busy night for our property, apparently. Can you guys see my screen and the plan I have pulled up? I just want to make sure that you can.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm here today to discuss some new EV chargers on property. I exchanged some emails earlier with Mr. Dwyer and Mr. Maskomowski. I know you guys don't have a lot of EV language in your bylaws, but they recommended I come discuss with you guys. So I want to let you know we're rolling out EV at about a dozen of our properties throughout New England. We're partnering with Electrify America, which is one of the largest open charging network charging stations in the country. These chargers are pretty high powered. They should allow customers to charge their vehicles within about 20 minutes. We do believe, we're seeing obviously a lot of EV pop up into the market, and this was identified as one of the top locations for us throughout our portfolio, again, in New England. So the location that we are proposing these in is within it's within 6 spaces. So we'd convert 6 standard parking spaces to 6 EV charging stations. They're located across the drive aisle from Walmart, adjacent to what we have as the former Manny's building, which is currently just occupied by Mattress Firm and now has 2 vacancies adjacent to it. Just to situate yourselves here, from a parking standpoint, we are site-wide. Again, I'm glad the Bank of America stuff was before us, but we're not changing the quantity of parking spaces we have here. And I can pull up the EV plan here. We're not changing the quantity of spaces. We are just converting 6 standard to 6 EV. Again, we do have site-wide a 4.3 parking ratio, which is pretty good from a shopping center requirement. IT 820 and land use, we typically target about 4 parking spaces per 1,000 square feet. We do have and have purchased through TDR the appropriate amount of parking lot square footage against our leasable area as well. And just to kind of also, as we kind of chop this up and break it down a little bit, if we do stay on the out parcel side, so this is the main drive, Russell Street, Route 9, South Maple Street along this plan, south side of the plan. We do have, with the addition of Dave's Hot Chicken, which is under construction slowly, and contemplating the Bank of America plan, assuming that goes through, I wanted to talk about parking from a fully built environment. We will have in this area here, just shy of 44,000 square feet and 209 parking spaces provided, which gives us again a 4.8 parking ratio in this out parcel area, which again is great for us. And I guess if you were, I mean, even if we did remove those 6 EV charging stations from our overall general parking count, that would drop us to 203 parking spaces in this area. We'd still have a 4.64 parking ratio requirement. So again, we feel confident in the amount of parking spaces we have. Obviously, the Manny's building is still partially vacant, but even with the 1 or 2 leases that would go in that space, we do feel we have adequate parking there. Just to elaborate on that, that building is about 8,700 square feet. The parking provided in that lot, this lot specifically, right, is 47 spaces, and that's a 5.4 parking ratio. So again, that's even bigger when you zoom in further. So I'm here to answer any questions, and hope that you will approve this evening, or if you'd like us to come back with more information, we're happy to do that as well. Thank you.
Basically, because you're not eliminating parking spaces, and the vehicles that'll be used in the area, it's 6. I mean, my single opinion is that it's probably okay, but always let the rest of the board say their piece as well.
Okay.
I as an EV owner who charges at malls, I would just say maybe you could add a pedestrian striped crossing there to get, because they might be going to Walmart and Whole Foods and things like that. And maybe it's already there and it's just not drawn graphically, but you've got a stop line, I think, as you come in from the south.
Yeah, we can definitely add one here that connects the sidewalk if that works for you. And then,
well, I was thinking over towards Walmart, because
so
they might be going to that part of the mall and parking over here.
I don't think I know we have a sidewalk on this side here, and if I zoom in more, it kind of changes this is the new and it reverts to the old from 2018, but this is closed off.
There's a bus stop there too.
Yeah, we have the bus stop that parks along the side of Walmart. I'm just trying to think of
I'm thinking of where your uppermost EV space is. I was just talking about maybe because I thought I saw a stop line in the main entrance.
There used to be a stop sign here, and then as part of the redevelopment of this out parcel back in 2018, we closed this off. So the only in out into this parcel is along this drive here, and everything is grass currently right now. So I'm not sure.
I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing, at least what I'm seeing on the screen and where your cursor's going.
Are you talking further up here at the 4-way where it meets?
No, I'm seeing your cursor down in the building. It says 7 South Maple. Isn't that the?
Oh, okay. You know what? I pulled up something else. Okay. You're talking, or you, I had the aerial pulled up and I realized it's only sharing this one screen.
Yeah.
There's a stop sign up here.
I don't think we're seeing the right screen because you're off the drawing.
Okay.
There.
Okay. This one here.
Yeah. Where it says EV location, where the V and the N are, I thought, just striping a crosswalk there to kind of tell people, let's cross here and not just anywhere across those lanes. Those could be busy lanes. And I just thought trying to put drivers and pedestrians focused on one spot might be,
Mhm.
increase human safety.
Okay.
First,
I
I
don't
say that's
think-
where the bus stop is, and that there might be a crosswalk there, but
Yeah.
I actually don't think we have I don't think we have a crosswalk there today.
No, I just pulled up Google Earth and there is no crosswalk shown.
no.
So
Yeah,
that
'cause
was
that was-
a 19, well, that was that, not brand new, but
Yeah, I was looking at Google
If you-
Maps
If you
also.
put if you put the EV chargers where you propose, how do you propose the pedestrians get from there to across the drive aisle, into the Walmart and it's the rest of the parking areas?
Yeah, I think
And that is a busy area too.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because these are fast chargers, so they take 20 minutes. So there's, I would say a majority, if not all, will stay in their car while they are charging these because of how quick they are. And likely, if they are shopping at the balance of the center, will get back in their car and drive to their location instead of trying to squeeze in some shopping within 20 minutes. They are paying for chargers. There typically is a grace period if you're still occupying a space and your charge is done, but it really kind of encourages people to charge, get back in their car, and either park in a standard parking space to frequent the shopping center or to leave and continue on their commute into work or elsewhere.
Well, I drive out to Illinois a couple of times a year and I stop at malls like this. I plug in and I've walked into like Walmart's to use the public restrooms and then go back to my car. It's done charging and off I go. So
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
same here. I've plug in, get out, stretch, use a restroom, maybe get a snack. I know there's a Starbucks right there.
yeah.
Down.
We're happy to
So-
we're happy to put in a crosswalk.
Yeah,
Sidewalk.
I'm not asking for a curb cut or a pedestrian bridge. I just think
Yeah.
some paint on the pavement.
Yeah, that's not we can definitely
Would-
do that. Just wanted to let you
Yeah.
know there is not one there. So we're totally fine with doing that.
I think it would also warn drivers, hopefully, this could be a crosswalk.
Sure. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Yeah, we can do that, no problem.
My only other comment would be is that just ensure that if there is ever an issue that public safety understands where the shutoff is and where the disconnect is. That's the only thing I would look for also, is just to convey with them.
Okay. Do that. Thank you. Glad to see some members of the board driving EV. Hopefully you guys will get to use these.
Hopefully we don't get deported for driving E EVs.
I see Ford stopping making their EV pickup trucks, so.
They did? Oh, no.
No, they're still gonna do the pickup trucks, a few of them, Jim, but the overall commitment to EVs has been scuttled. Overall for Ford.
Anyway.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
Nobody's buying them without the
Incentives.
incentive plan, correct?
Okay.
But I digress.
Yes, yes, right, okay.
Any further comments?
No. And well, I would just say kudos. I'm glad to see you, as an EV driver, you're definitely at a disadvantage. Gasoline stations have popped up around the country for over 100 years, so we have a lot of catching up to do. Thanks.
Of course. Anytime.
have you sent us a copy of this?
I sent you a copy of the EV sketch, Bill. I'm happy to send this this is actually an Alta survey that I just marked up. I'm happy to send this along with the EV plan again
Okay.
for the records if that's helpful.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Sure, of course.
Is this a formal something that we need to vote on, Jim?
Yeah, I'm working up,
Where's your feline assistant?
I wouldn't be moving as fast if she was here. So I'll make a motion to approve 6 charging stations as shown on the submitted plans with the addition of crosswalk across the drive aisle to Walmart.
I would so move.
Motion second. Any other discussions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor? Roll call vote.
Done, aye.
Dwyer, aye.
Maximowski, aye.
Palmer, aye.
Groudnik, aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
It's a lot of
Very good.
ayes. 5
Thank
ayes.
You all really appreciate it.
Yep, get the
Thank you,
plan,
Dan.
get that plan mailed to planning@hadleyma.gov, and we'll get a waiver out, and you can go and get your permits within, well, depending on the holidays.
Yeah, as
Whatever, all right?
soon as we can. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody.
Yeah, you
Okay,
too.
good idea.
Bye-bye.
And
We have
oh,
nobody else.
we have no one else. We did have Tim's iPhone, but he left with Dan Hester.
Okay. Okie dokie, we can talk about some of our, anyway, before we get to any of these zoning articles, anybody have else press? We do have I believe we have an invoice to pay. Let me get it up.
Grab my other iPad.
All right, we have an invoice to pay to the Daily Hampshire Gazette in the order of $470.20.
I'll make a motion to pay.
I'll second it.
What are we paying? I'm sorry, I stepped out.
$470.20.
And let me guess, to the Daily Hampshire Gazette?
Yes.
All right. We need to roll call vote on that, or?
Okay. Got a motion second? And it's, any discussions? If not, all in favor, roll call vote.
Done, aye.
Dwyer, aye.
Maximowski, aye.
Palmer, aye.
Groudnik, aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Very good. We'll get that paid. All right. Anybody have anything else before we get to the zoning articles? No? Okay. I sent out an email on, let's see. When was it? Last week, anyway. And it had the 6 different zoning articles. So we'll hit the first one, which was to define accessory buildings. And I put it rather, I mean, we under section 5.2, we have a thing on accessory buildings, but this is my thought. We can discuss this. I thought it might be easier to define what an accessory building is, because to try to fit it into that 5.2 seems kind of confusing. Whereas if we define the size of an accessory building, then okay, then it's defined. Comments on that? Make sense?
It makes sense. I'm just looking at it now. Should we put any verbiage regarding the basement part? So it's clarified or no? Because I know it's
Well,
clarified in the
that's an
state law.
ADU.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
Okay,
Right.
that's ADU. And the thing is, while you mention it, ADU is a direct conflict with building code. And in ADU, they define basement space as livable space. Building code specifically excludes basement space as livable unless it's a walkout.
Hmm.
So the building inspector, and I don't know how they're going to resolve that, but that's not something I don't think we should get involved in, because that's going to turn into the building inspector, when I asked him about that, he says, I'm going by the building code. And he says that I don't know how the ADU is going to come out with this. He said, because building code says this is what thou shalt do. And the ADU, well, anyways. So anyways, accessory building, Bill was saying 200 feet. I put in 350. I made it a little bit bigger, because if it's under 200 square feet, you technically don't need a building code. I mean, a building permit, and you can put it anywhere. But I figure, well, if we go to 350, then they're going to have to start complying with setbacks between 200 and 350. And if it's over 350, then they're going to have to comply with the full setbacks of a residence. But we can talk about that if anybody thinks we should change that. Does 350 sound reasonable?
I kind of like going with the leaving it a little floating by calling the accessory structure whatever could be built without a building permit. But I don't know enough about accessory structures. I have big barns around me.
Yeah.
Not little
The building inspector has said that if it's under 200 square feet, as long as it's not on a permanent foundation, and most aren't, they're basically set on cinder blocks or something, then you don't need a building permit at all. Those are the ones they basically pretty much haul in as a prefab unit.
right.
Some are built on site, but the majority, but a lot of them are just hauled in on a trailer and put on a concrete, stone, whatever it might be. So, we even the building department doesn't have jurisdiction over the setback on one of those things. A lot of them are set 1 or 2 feet off of the property lines.
Isn't there something about 120 square feet? I thought that was.
Well, the building inspector recently said something to him, and he said it was 200. You don't need a
Okay.
building permit. So those can be put anywhere.
So like if I wanted to put a shed, one of those prefab drop off, I don't have to observe setbacks and.
If it falls within what the building code exempts, that is correct.
Okay. All right.
And I would, before you take me as gospel, verify with the building inspector that it is 200 square feet.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that's
thought-
basically, that's a pretty good size shed. That's a 10 by 20 shed.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
If that's the case, then, let's see.
So you're saying the up to 350 does not have to comply with setbacks?
No. According to the building inspector, if it's 200 square feet or less, it doesn't have to comply with setbacks. I'm saying that if we use, like for your original thing, Bill, it wouldn't, we don't really need to put 200 square feet in there because it doesn't have to comply. I'm saying if we go with 350, then anything between 200 and 350 has to comply with the side yard and 15-foot rear. If it's over 350 square feet, then you need to comply to the same setbacks as a residence.
So, Jim, should we put, because it says 350 or less in what you wrote, should we put the range or no? So it's very specific?
Oh, I said
Well,
I said if it's less than 350 square feet total, then the zone setback shall be per section 5.2, which means therefore, if it's over 350 square feet, then you need to comply with the setback, the regular setbacks of a residence.
So what are we getting rid of, Jim?
Right now, I've got an accessory structure in my backyard that is a little over 1,000 square feet. Okay, there is no limit on how big your accessory structure can be. So you could put up, if you've got a house, a residence, you could put up an accessory structure of, pick a size, 10,000 square feet. It's incidental to the main house. But they could convert, the idea is they could convert 900 square feet of that into a ADU.
Okay, but what's the setback now?
My building is set back 15 foot from the rear line. So I would be putting a residence, let's use me. My shed is big enough to put an ADU in. It's 1,025 square feet. So I could take 900 square feet of that, turn it into an ADU, and the rear setback would be 15 feet. And what we want to do is we want residences to be set back farther. If that's what I'm understanding, right?
I think it's 40, right? Yeah.
40 square feet to the rear.
What does the state ADU requirements say?
If it's an accessory structure, you can use it as a ADU.
Setback.
It says whatever
the town zoning says.
whatever the town zoning says for accessory structures are what an ADU can be.
Right.
So right now, an ADU can be, it is an accessory structure. And it can, under the definition, it can be 15 feet from the rear lot line.
And we require a regular residence to be 40 feet from the rear.
So we're not preventing sheds being turned into ADUs.
Because the original,
Any existing shed could be turned into an ADU.
Right.
What we're preventing is somebody in the future building an accessory structure and turning it into an ADU. Well,
Right.
somebody could build an accessory structure in 2025 and turn it into an ADU in 2026.
Yeah. So would this prevent them from doing that in 2026?
If the bylaw passes in 2027. Well, anything that's existing could be converted. And there is quite a few that could be converted. But it would prevent somebody from, in the future, it would prevent them from putting in a accessory structure large enough to be an ADU, because if it's over 350 square feet, you're now going to meet the 40-foot rear setback.
Gotcha. Okay. I think I follow that.
Okay. So. Does this first one make sense the way it's been presented?
I do think so.
Yeah, I think.
So we're good with the putting it in definitions, and we're good with 350 square feet?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Good. Next one we will do is
This one I'm
Vote to
looking at-
amend the,
I'm looking at-
amend section 4.3.7. That's the one that talks about the 150 by 150 foot square.
No.
And the very last part of the sentence, except, which is, I quote, except that the planning board may, but is not required to issue a special permit as provided in section 6.2.2 to permit lot width of no less than 75% of the minimum lot width required when in its judgment, such action is in the public interest and not inconsistent with the intent of the zone bylaw. That was something that I'm guessing most of us didn't even think about or were that much aware of until Randy mentioned it a little while ago. And
Right. We were like, what's in the public interest? Right.
right. This was amended in 1998 with the original article, or the original 4.3.7 read, width is defined such that a square area 150 feet by 150 feet must be able to fit into the plan of a lot, and at least one point of that square must lie on the frontage line. That was the original. And some developers got very creative with that 150 by 150. And so we added that at no point between the front lot line and the rear principal structure, said rear being the farthest point of the structure from the front line, located on the lot shall have a width less than a minimum lot width required. What was happening was people were creating a 200-foot frontage. If it was a 200-foot frontage or 175, the lot width may only, so that, let's use 200. So they would create a 200-foot front lot line and make it 2 feet deep. And then they would reduce it to 150 by 150 and go back with a 150 by 150 square. So you had this really strange looking lot, and they were able to squeeze more building lots out of land than the original intent of the bylaw. And it was decided at that point that Mr. Dwyer was the one, in fact, that raised that point, that recommended the change, and it was a good idea to make it to the rear structure that front width shall be maintained. PVPC helped us draw up the wording, and somehow, I don't remember, that thing about being able to reduce lot width got in there. And the biggest thing is, maybe it makes sense on a rare occasion. Well, if it does, let them go to the ZBA for something, some kind of a relief.
No, I would agree.
Everybody okay with taking out that last section of the sentence?
Yeah, it's a good idea. Take it out.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Then we have, well, the ADU bylaw, and that's simply adopting the wording that town council recommended after to reword the entire article. There's like, I want to say 3-4 minor little changes in it, but because of the way we changed some of the numbering, trying to go to town meeting and say, change this and renumber this, it gets to be so confusing. Let's just readopt the entire bylaw, but there's really only a few minor changes we're incorporating. It's just more straightforward for people to understand what we're doing. And I think the italic section, italicized things that we're amending are in the wording when you look at it. Then we've got in the solar bylaw, section 28.5.3.4, under the large-scale solar bylaw, replacing the word shall with the word should. It's got to do with screening, should be yeah. Large-scale ground-mounted solar energy systems and appurtenant structures should be adequately screened from the public view from ways and neighboring property with vegetation or behind other existing structures. And I put the word should in there only because it made more grammatical sense, but does that have the same meaning as may, Mr. Dwyer, do you know? Or should the word say may?
Yeah, I think I back it down to something milder. Ground management.
Well, it says should be adequately, and so adequate is subjective.
It is subjective.
May sounds like it's optional, so I kind of like should. Should is a little less demanding than shall, and may, I think, sounds like it's optional in my mind.
Should we get rid of adequately because it's subjective or no
Oh, I think that gives us some,
leeway?
yeah.
Well, that's what we're here to discuss.
I think, it just may seems to be a little bit more legal. Shall and may, you see that written a lot in zoning bylaws. Should is probably says the same connotation, but I'd lean to may.
That's what we're here to discuss.
I would prefer shall over may, because may sounds like I may or I may not.
Well, shall means we have to, and we did not. So is there something, is there a suit pending against the planning board, Jim?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I'd suggest, how about something along the lines of the planning board may require adequate screening? It's not going to fit into this sentence grammatically, so the sentence has to be reworked a bit.
That's
That's okay. No,
Oh.
that's
I agree, Bill. I'm with you. I'm with you, baby. I'm with you. You got it.
Yeah, if you're gonna use may, then I like that the decision is the planning board's, not the applicant's.
So the
Planning
planning board required
Bill.
that
Say it again.
large-scale ground-mounted solar energy systems may require that they be adequately screened from public view. The public ways and
Yeah. I'll second that motion, Bill.
Second.
I want to type this,
that
Bill, while you're saying that. Oh, wait a minute. Would you repeat that again?
yeah, the planning board may require
Yes.
that, and then what you have here, large-scale ground-mounted systems and appurtenant structures be adequately screened from view from public ways. And then
Yeah.
continue with the rest of it.
And neighboring properties, right? Blah blah blah.
Yep. What I would want to take a look at is whether the how the section as a whole reads. But I can do that right now.
That is the whole section.
Well, I mean the prior section, the
Oh,
prior
I'm sorry.
sections,
Okay, yeah.
the bigger section.
Yeah.
We don't want to put the word reasonable in there, right? That makes it wishy-washy.
Well, I don't mind leaving reasonable in. and we may require reasonable screening.
Yeah, okay.
As opposed to adequate?
Well, they're
Yeah,
both subjective, so
right.
reasonable and adequate.
And that's where,
Reasonably adequate.
that's where if it's 100 feet from the offending property line versus a mile from the, you know,
You just see, what is that, 28?
28.5.3.
0.4.
28.5.
0.3.4.
28.534. 28.534. Okay. Okay, so there's nothing in the preamble to that section that would contradict the wording.
Yeah.
But just wanted one thing, let's see, purpose, applicability, definitions. And large capacity, administrative requirements, and special permit. Okay, yeah, so that wording, the planning board may require that large scale.
Solar system, large scale ground mounted solar energy systems and appurtenant structures be reasonably screened from public ways, et cetera, with vegetation, et cetera, neighboring properties. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that introduces two variables. One is may and one is adequate.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Reasonably adequate. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is subjective, but there, as you said, part of it's the distance, part of it is, what the, when we adopted this initially, we didn't have a lot of exposure to what we were working with.
Yeah, I mean, and ag solar didn't exist.
Agrivoltaics, yeah.
Okay, and then next one I've got is
Note 3.
this one is, note 3 is under section 3, use regulations, by deleting note 5 in its entirety. For reference, note 5 reads as follows: in all zoning districts, any proposed new structure or expansion of existing structure for retail use, excluding the reuse or reconstruction of an existing structure with a total floor area of exceeding 75,000 square feet, is prohibited. And my suggestion there is just to get rid of that note entirely and not have a limit on size of a structure. This was
For
put in
retail
my
use.
petition back in You see if I got the date. No, I would believe it was amended back in 20 years ago or something close to that.
Does that open us up to these new AI data
Those are-
centers?
It should. Not by the.
Well, it specifies it's for retail use. So housing AI data centers wouldn't qualify
Yeah,
in that
okay.
regard.
Right.
Okay.
That was how the what you call it? That's the way the some of the senior housing will be getting larger than 75,000 square feet, because it specifically mentions retail, and it doesn't so much exclude housing, but doesn't include housing, residents. And obviously the
I'm
idea
fine.
behind the idea behind this is, you know, what if a large retail wants to come in? That's good tax money. I don't know that there's any place really zoned big enough. Almost anybody that would come in might need to require a zone change, but that's a whole nother hoop to jump through. But if they jump through both prohibition and a zone change, then most of them may not be interested in even pursuing. But if it's only a zone change, we've seen several zone changes come in when there wasn't a limit. So, and it's good tax money.
Yeah, my view is, retail is struggling how it used to be, 25, 30 years ago. It's worth a shot to try to invigorate something in the town and get a bigger tax base out of it, as long as it complies with everything else.
Is there anybody looking to come into town? Nobody, no concrete proof, only rumors. But the rumors of those that would like to come in are good retail boxes, if you would, big boxes. They're not,
And those would be less demanding on our utility infrastructure of water and sewer in general.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, except for, employees and people, customers using the restrooms.
Unless it's an
typically some of
indoor
these
water
have-
park.
Well, typically typically some of them have a snack bar, so I don't want to say the impact is that low.
No.
But they don't have big restaurants in them. And I can't
No.
imagine a big restaurant I can't imagine a restaurant that big wanting to come in anyway.
Right.
Yeah, unless it's like some brewery who wants to do a retail space with it, and that's that's a whole can of worms right there. That's the only thing I could think of that.
Micro breweries. Well, no, microbrew would fall into the size space. You're absolutely right. Yeah. But
Yeah, but that industry is in a flux right now too. So
yeah, I mean, there's enough struggling going on that was a fad of 10 years ago and not so much right now. Anyway.
So regarding the other part, note 3, I have no problem saying anything over 75,000 requires transfer of development rights. I don't understand that clause in there on the same parcel of land which has been in common or affiliated ownership within the 3 years prior application filing date. I don't know what that adds to anything.
I was reading that myself, and I was thinking, like, what does that mean? I was hoping you might be able to explain it to me. So so what you're saying is we should keep the TDR for over 75,000, but get rid of that section.
Well,
Yeah.
is that to stop them from doing 70,000 and then 3 years
Get
later
rid of on
adding?
the same parcel of land which has been in okay. Get rid from. I will simply read note 3 in section B in business and industrial districts. Any otherwise permitted use involving new construction or change in the outside appearance or a change of use of a building or buildings or premises of more than 75,000 cumulative square feet total gross floor area after such construction or alteration or change in use, comma. This is the section that's confusing. On the same parcel of land or on land which has been in common or affiliated ownership within the 3 years prior to application filing date will also require a special okay. So get rid of on the same parcel of land or on land which has been in common or affiliated ownership within the 3 years prior to the application date. That's what we're saying, right, Bill?
Yeah. Yeah, that just doesn't, I don't see what it does.
Yeah, I agree.
If,
So we would go from the wording or exterior alteration or change in use will also require a special permit under the farmland preservation bylaw with purchase of development rights, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If it's over 75,000 square feet.
Yeah, so that's sort of the that's the counterbalance to deleting note 5, amending note 3 to say that, yeah, you can go over 75, but you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay.
That's all right.
The TDR.
That's okay.
yeah, we're just taking out note 5, which prohibits it, right? And note 5 didn't seem to make sense compared to note 3, because if note 5 says in all zoning districts you're prohibited, then how could it go over 75 in B and I?
Well, note 5 came in as a petition article.
Yeah.
And so even though we have zoning districts that don't allow any retail, and we have zoning districts that don't require anything over 2,500 square feet, it was kind of it didn't make a lot of sense to say you can't build a 75,000 foot building in a zoning district where you can't even build a 2,500 square foot building. Yeah, that doesn't really, it's unclear what it accomplishes.
Yeah.
It's unclear what it, it's unclear what it
not
extends
even
to.
clear what it says. But anyways, okay.
Just for example, if we were to get suppose we were to get a Amazon delivery hub. I mean, is that a retail use?
That's an industrial use.
Yeah, it would be industrial, right? If it's more.
Yeah, it's a
internal
trucking
handling
terminal or something, but it's
We don't.
you don't get to go there. You can buy stuff from Amazon, but you don't buy the Amazon motor pool.
Right. I was trying to figure what that last sentence in note 3 is, but that's basically saying, if you have, if I understand it correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but that last sentence, this does not apply to that's saying that we're not applying this to if you have a tobacco barn or something like that.
It exempts agricultural, horticulture, floriculture, and basically residences.
Yeah.
And that's actually just reciting chapter 40A, which says that the zoning bylaw may not govern the size of single or two-family dwellings.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah. I mean, I have yet to see in Hadley or the area a 75,000 square foot house. Not that they don't exist in other areas, but
I don't know how big Bill
So-
Cosby's was, but I doubt it's that big.
So going back to what Bill said about Amazon warehouses, they're not a direct to end consumer
Right.
shop. So I don't think they would be considered retail.
Right.
They're more of a logistics hub. Kind of like, if you ship something through the post office or FedEx and they have a warehouse, is that considered retail?
Right, right. The post office has what they call carrier annexes, and that would be, I think, industrial or factory use, not necessarily business or retail.
So basically, it comes down to this came in as a petition article in a reaction to a super Walmart being proposed for Hampshire Mall. And it would not have prohibited it because that had been filed before this came in, but it is to prevent a future. The goal of the petitioners was to prevent a future super Walmart or similar from coming in. But it would not bar a AI farm or a Amazon distribution. So it's a very limited and not necessarily speaking we want or don't want. So
Okay.
yeah, I have no problem with deleting 5 and amending 3 to
Okay.
take out that clause.
Yep, they have done that, yeah. It reads a lot cleaner too.
You're taking out the 3-year prior application file, all that.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I will send out the changes before we do anything. I'm also on a bylaw committee to look at the town bylaws, and we made a few recommendations, and we've got probably 7 or 8 for the annual town meeting. I got a feeling that between the zone bylaw changes, amendments, and a general bylaw amendments, there may be too much to absorb at an annual town meeting. So we'll probably have to take some of these out that aren't quite so critical, and the same thing for the general. One of the interesting things that came out of the general bylaw meeting today is lighting. And there is actually, it's called, I forgot the word, it's lighting usage for natural something. Anyway, there's a group called Luna, Luna, and they actually have, it's actually a group, I guess a national group that is comprised of a lot of lighting manufacturers. And they have what they called Luna certified lighting. Luna certified lighting basically is lighting that doesn't light up into the sky, and it doesn't shine excessively beyond boundaries. I don't know of anything that we've ever proposed, but I was looking to think that in our site plan approval, that may be, we have a section on lighting and fixtures, and we kind of define lighting spillover, et cetera, et cetera. We may want to consider changing that any lighting fixtures installed shall be Luna certified. It's not a company. It's actually like NFPA. It's NFPA certified. These are Luna certified, if you would. One
It's
is
a third party,
lighting, and it's
yeah.
basically lighting, but it's got a lot to do with kind of the dark sky idea, if you would. So I'm going to do a little bit more research, but I'll get that out to you. And it may be something we may want to consider putting into site plan approval under lighting, to simply say lighting, any outdoor lighting shall be this LUNA certified. Might make sense.
There is a guy in Northampton who is an astronomy professor at Smith, I believe. who has contacted me several times about dark sky standards.
Correct. He used to send us emails all the time. But yeah, Jim, now this would have to be a general bylaw because one of the objections, for example, there's a new produce packing facility that's going up on Route 47 in North Hadley, and it has powerful lighting, but it's agriculturally exempt from site plan.
Right,
But it would not be exempt from general bylaws.
correct.
So I have
We,
my,
we are looking to put forward a general bylaw on lighting for a variety of reasons, and that's one of them. But under site plan approval, we already have authority over almost every commercial business. Well, this simply, I mean, we've already encouraged shoebox lighting, down lighting, spillover, et cetera. This may just make it a bit easier. If they're using this LUNA certified lighting, it may be a bit easier for everybody to, commercially wise, to comply. That's all I'm saying here.
Well, the one negative about that, Jim, is the fact that it may seem like we're pushing some not a concerned group, but a particular brand. And whereas I think our limitation to one candle power off the premises is pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean, Luna is not a brand.
I know, but it may seem that way.
I guess to Joe's point, a smaller lighting company might not pay to get certified by all these new third party. They might just go to UL,
Yeah.
Okay, well, and I'm not even proposing anything right now. Just something that should we think about it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do more research before I get too carried away too. Because you're right, I don't want to push the little guy out the door.
Also, too, Jim, under these general bylaws, I mean, they always come up and they're always, not always emotional, but occasionally emotional. But I've never saw one that was enforced. For example, the blocking of a turning on a street or out of one's driveway. That was very emotional for a while. And yet there are a lot of streets that you've got brush and trees there that will prohibit the view of an oncoming car. That's never been taken care of. So
you have to wonder how much of that shrubbery that affects sight lines might even be on town property.
well, that's correct. That's the other thing, but it was passed, and or even people spilling stuff on the street, whether it be grass clippings or manure. Not that they're spreading manure around town. I don't think that. So you may be doing noble work, Jim, but it's not being enforced.
Well, we can only put the bylaw on the books, and it's gonna be up to the powers to be to enforce. You're absolutely right, Joe. I don't disagree with some of that. But should they decide to enforce, and one's coming up, we're gonna see how it turns out. The latest proposal from the Board of Selectmen to require residents to clear the sidewalks in front of their properties. So that'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, and I saw the town clearing snow this morning.
Well,
On-
the letters are going out in January.
Oh, okay.
The bylaw is supposed to be beginning to get enforced on February 1. They're giving people time to comply. So,
And that's for both residential and commercial.
yeah. So The other last one, we probably don't want to do anything with this one at this town meeting or even right now. Defining extended stay. At last meeting, Kyle gave us, a whole bunch of things on that. And I think that's gonna take probably not this town meeting to be looking at that because there's really various things. There's a lot of variables that we need to look at. At least that's my 2 cents.
Right. Are there cooking facilities, length of stay?
I'm sure there's somebody that's come up with that bylaw somewhere because California's come up with that bylaw.
Yeah, like I said, it's gonna take some more research to look into that.
All right.
And
Well, he's got Springfield and anyway.
Yeah, Kyle references various other communities.
Right. He looks at Amherst, Northampton, what was it? South Hadley, Springfield.
yeah, Westfield.
Yeah, right. Westfield. Oh, what did I do? Did not mean to raise that.
Okay, that is all I have.
All right.
I don't believe I have anything else either.
I would wish you all a healthy, happy, and safe holiday season. Happy Hanukkah, happy everything else.
Everything else.
Keep
Everything
it,
else.
celebrate it. We have Village Barns coming up in first January meeting, January
6th, is it?
6th. And then Bank of America and the coffee shop on the 13th. I'm sorry, the 20th.
20th,
And
yeah.
6th, that's just a special permit site plan.
Site plan
That's-
approval and the senior housing special permit.
Yeah.
The senior housing special permit, yeah.
So will that have like elevations, proposed elevations and such? Because it looked like it was just site plan.
I sent you the package, Mark. I
Okay.
resent it after you sent me that email. I
Yeah.
forgot. I thought I sent it to you and Joe, but I couldn't find it. There
Yeah,
is some attachments to it.
okay,
And then there is a website you go to that has I think it's a 25 megabyte file of all the drawings you want to look at.
okay. Yeah, I thought I opened the permit set, but the permit set I'm looking at is just prepared by Berkshire Design Group. So it's just site. Maybe I'm,
If you go to that monster file, it has, I believe it has everything you ever wanted to see.
okay. And that was the 21 megabyte. That's this one. Let's back up there. Okay. I'll keep looking. There's a 6.7 megabyte.
Okay, well, if there's nothing else, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor? Aye. Roll call. Deny,
And I,
Dwyer, aye.
Maximowski, aye.
Farmer, aye.
Roddick, aye.
Thank you. Motion passes. Meeting is history. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Alex. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Holidays, everybody. Good night.